I actually have a lot of admiration for China. Back in 2014, I spent 6 weeks, and I was
Go on. Yeah, what was this about? I read a bit about this. Go on.
Went to the party school.
Yeah, so what is that?
It's cool. So over the years, GE had a leadership academy that was called Crotonville, about an hour and a half north of New York City, and it was phenomenal. And it's where all, when you went to Crotonville, it was like going to Mecca. Right? It was so good. The culture was, you felt the culture, you felt the values, you learnt so much about yourself, and you learnt so much from others. And so about a long time now, it was in the 80s and 90s, late 80s, early 90s, Jack Welch invited about 50 of our customers from China to come to the leadership school and do the exact same training we put our own senior leaders through.
Yeah, right.
And he added a week on up front to take them to Washington and teach them about decision making and how to do that in Washington, or how that all happens in Washington. We did that for decades. And what Jack insisted is you as the business leaders, you had to fly in, right? And you'd hang out with these leaders. So you'd have breakfast, lunch, dinner, you sit in class with them. You got to know them really well. Times I've gone to China, I've met the CEO of Shenhua Coal, and he shakes your hand. He says, I was in the class of 98, right? It was that powerful.
Yeah, right.
After the first year we did that, the Chinese government said, it's called the Centre of Organisational Development, the COD. It looks after about the top 83 million people in the Communist Party, the state-owned enterprises, and the government, right, the people who govern the country. And they said, we love this, but we want to send who we want to send, and they may not be GE customers, right? And we said, okay, no problem. And so there's times I'm sitting there, hanging out with, the CEO of China Mobile, right? Which not in our industry, but that's okay.
Yep.
Right? And they sometimes send government officials. And so we built this, we would put hundreds of folks through it. Then in 2013, the Central Organisational Development wrote to GE and said, we'd like to invite 20 GE executives to come to China for 6 weeks. We're going to do a week or two in Peking University, and we'll learn about culture and social aspects, how the country works, decision making. And then you're going to go to the party school, where all the leaders of the Communist Party and the state-owned enterprise go, and you're going to go through the same leadership training they go through. And so the first week or so at Peking University, Jack Ma comes and talks to us, the Attorney General, the chairman of CNOOC, the chairman of Sinopec. It was awesome. It was so good. Then we went to the party school. Was a little basic, but very good, and you could see a lot of the GE stuff sort of popping up here and there. And then we went and visited Intel's operations there, General Motors and SAI, Shanghai Auto.
Oh, yeah.
We visited Huawei. We visited Comac, the airframe manufacturer. We probably visited 20 companies all over the country and spent a day with each, meeting their teams, understanding what they're doing, how they view the market, how they want to go global, and it's a massive investment in leadership. And one of the things that's interesting about China, and I think Singapore is similar in some ways, the smartest people in China work for the government. Smartest people in Singapore work for the government.
They get paid for it.
And so, you don't have too many folks coming out of, university these days. Yep,
Yeah.
I want to work for the government.
Yeah.
And so it gets back to how do you create that environment?
Yep.
And that's leadership. You got to have great leaders, create a great environment that people want to be a part of, that people are inspired by, that they can grow and develop. And you can, one of the other things I always found important for me was, for me, it's always important to work with people that are going to take your brain to a place you wouldn't take it, right? They're going to challenge your thinking. They're going to, and you can do that in a way that's thoughtful and respectful and polite. So I've always tried to meet people and connect with people who think very, very differently to me, so I can take my brain with them. So if you can create that environment inside a political system, and it's hard, right? It's really difficult. It seems like democratic systems pretty well everywhere are at their limit. It feels like the US system is not representing their people well.
Yeah.
It's full of octogenarians, and that just can't be good.
No.
And it's not good. It's obviously not good. And so what happens? People lose trust again.